How's it going, guys? Today we're going to be talking about an interesting topic, pretty dark, maybe if you're thinking about it. What if Naruto was actually captured by Pain in the Leaf Village invasion? And with me to talk about this very interesting Naruto what if, we have Lightning Snow. Say hello to everybody.
What's happening, guys? Back today for another one. How y'all doing?
Yeah, so for this scenario, we're just talking about what if, for some reason, Hinata wasn't able to go down there where Naruto was fighting against Pain when he was pinned down, and Pain was giving his reverse talk no jutsu to Naruto. Naruto pretty much gave up in that situation, then Hinata shows up and attacks Pain, but let's assume her caretaker holds her back, or somebody else. Neji says it's too dangerous, and they don't go after Naruto, and Naruto cannot go Nine Tails to, essentially win against Pain, and Naruto is captured. That's a big change in the Naruto story if it were to happen. So what do you first think, Lightning? What are your first thoughts?
Well, like you said, it changes the story completely. They lose their hero, and at this point, if Naruto gets captured, everyone stays dead.
Yep.
Most notably, Kakashi is the one that stays dead. Shizune stays dead. Everybody else in the village, the elite village, will be severely undermanned, to say the least. And so that in itself, they're still gonna be trying to regather themselves after the attack. And Daigo and I were kind of under the assumption how would they know that Naruto had been captured or whatever. Pitched the idea, a couple ideas, one, there was already people watching the fight, and two, so they would already know Naruto's captured, or two, the Katsuyu slug that was on Naruto would probably relay the information oh hey, Naruto's been captured, we need to send a squad or something, because now Danzo is kind of the head guy now. He's not technically named Hokage yet, but they would still regroup and try to figure out what they need to do going forward.
Yeah, and the problem is that their most powerful ninjas, as you mentioned before, are gonna be either dead or in coma. Tsunade's in coma after this arc. So are they gonna send a squad to retrieve Naruto? Yes, they are definitely gonna try, but how successful that squadron be, we just don't know, because yeah, sure, Danzo will probably do something about it, but he wouldn't get involved personally. He would probably just make a plan, gather some people, maybe even send a couple of his root Ambo guys to oversee the situation, but all in all, Danzo would certainly stay behind to assure that he will be the next Hokage, just like he was trying to do in the original series. He was killing toads, not to deliver Naruto the information so that, yeah, keep the village safe, but let's be Hokage no matter what. And we were talking about this, the squadron that they would send at first to just try and get to Naruto before Pain leaves the Land of Fire or whatever, and he would probably be leaving with Conan flying with him, carrying Nagato and Naruto with her papers. That would be the best method, because Nagato is not very mobile, and he would be pretty tired after fighting the village in Pain. But the squad would probably be Guy, certainly the most powerful ninja they have available, Yamato, who was coming back to try and subdue Naruto, and but actually Yamato wouldn't get the news that Naruto was going eight tails or 9 tails and whatnot. So
true. That is true.
Try to
I
go
didn't
back.
Even think about that. Well,
yeah. So Yamato wouldn't go with him in this scenario.
Well,
it would probably be Guy and Inoichi, Shikaku, maybe.
Yeah, that's true.
Rock Lee and Neji. They'll probably mount this counter attack, but
I was thinking maybe
be able to reach them.
It would depend on how quickly Danzo regrouped everybody to make that, because if they took a minute to try to figure out who's gonna go, they may send a crow or something like that to Yamato and let him know where they're gonna be going. I don't know, that's the only thing I can think, because I feel like Yamato is someone they would need in a fight going forward, maybe.
True, but I think the immediate response would have to be really quick. They wouldn't really have time to send for ninjas that are away, so we can go to Naruto. They have to do it immediately before Naruto gets to anywhere. And what Nagato/Pain is going to do is to get to Obito, certainly, and Obito would imprison Naruto in the Kami dimension. So this squad of Naruto, of Leaf ninjas, would have to get to Naruto before Nagato gets to Obito, because once Naruto gets into the Kami dimension, pierced by all those Rinnegan rods, then things get a little tough.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is at what point does it because at this point, would we give Pain the rest of the paths? Would we give him enough time to regroup the paths, or would it just be the Diva path, Konan, and Obito?
No, at this point, Pain would just be trying to flee the scene, so he would just have the Diva path.
Okay.
And and Conan, and then he would try to reach Obito in this situation. And I think he kind of succeeds in that because Conan can't fly. It's not going to be very easy to track her, and maybe the Leaf team can catch up to them, but it's not as though Nagato had no chakra left after he defeated Naruto, because he fought against the Nine Tails, and then he fought against Naruto again after Minato came and saved him from the Nine Tails, and he even used Chibaku Tensei to fight against the Nine Tails, so he had some chakra left. It was not as though he'd be like a defenseless little kid.
Yeah.
Well, it was very difficult.
Worst case, like, Obito can just beat him halfway or something like that. It seems like the Akatsuki have like a, what do you call it? They have like a communication that, like, because whatever Pain needs to summon them, like, they almost already know. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, it's our leader, he's calling. So, like, maybe they have like some kind of like communication where like Pain will let Obito know, like, hey, I'm trying to get out of here. Could you possibly come and like intercept us for a second? And I can see Obito kind of just like, you know, teleporting to wherever they're at and just getting them out of there or something like that.
So the strike team would most likely fail. Probably they wouldn't even reach the location where Naruto is kamui'd in time, and then Naruto's gone. The problem for the Akatsuki is going to be that the Nine Tails has to be the last tail beast to be sealed. Otherwise, the chakra of the Geto Mazu gets disrupted, and it's not going to work out. And fortunately for Naruto, Sasuke didn't capture B. He only captured a tentacle, so Naruto would have to be kept, you know, as a prisoner inside the Kami dimension, pierced by all those rods until they seal the 8 tails, so that they can seal the 9 tails. And even the sealing itself would take a long time because they only have Obito, Nagato, Conan, Zetsu, and Kisame, only 5 out of the 10 members, so a lot less chakra, which means more time. And if they were taking 9 days to seal Gaara's Shukaku, the 1 tail, when they had 9 members, then to seal the 9 tails, the most powerful one of the Biju, it's going to take a little longer, I would say.
Maybe a week, like at the very least, I would say.
Yeah.
Like that's if that. Now I did want to pitch to you this idea, because I think I may have brought this up earlier before we started recording, that like the only way that the strike team would even remotely be able to, after like assuming that Obito meets them halfway and gets them out of there, the only way they'd be able to know or to even remotely find Naruto's location is if we assume, like I would, it's a very slim chance, I know, but like this is the only thing I can see, is that if we assume that Pain or Obito did not pick up on the fact that the Katsuyu slug is still inside of Naruto's clothing, that would be the only thing, like that maybe they can give like a reasonable trajectory of like where Naruto is, like a vague description of where he might be, because obviously he's in the Kami dimension, but like maybe Katsuyu could, like, you know, see where they were going before then.
Before he gets kamui'd, yeah.
Like,
and even still, it's a long shot because Nagato has the Rinnegan and Obito has a Sharingan, so they can probably see the chakra of the slug.
Yeah.
And I just think the Leaf Village, at least initially here, they don't get Naruto back so soon.
Yeah.
They would have to do something else, which leads us to the other stuff that was happening after the Pain arc, which was the 5 Kage Summit, where in the original, Obito intercepts Sasuke and tells him, yeah, Sasuke, I know you're going to go and destroy the Leaf Village. Too bad the Leaf Village has already been destroyed, so go to the summit and kill Danzo for me. And Sasuke accepts that because, well, he actually wanted to kill Danzo, and Obito told him, you didn't capture the 8 tails completely, so you have to make it up for me. And I see the same thing happening, to be honest. Like, Obito would tell Sasuke to go to the summit, and that's it. He would definitely hide the fact that Naruto has been captured and is being kept in his pocket dimension, pierced by all those rods, because Obito would certainly not want to stir any emotions that would be not very ideal for him in that situation. Sasuke, this very, well, volatile kid, to say the least.
Yeah, well, and Daigo and I kind of, like, we were back and forth, and like, because like Sasuke is a coin flip at this point, because yes, he's hell-bent on destroying the Leaf, but then during his fight with B, before he launched Amaterasu towards B, he had like an image of Team 7 in his mind. So it's like one of those things, like, why is he thinking about them during a time where he's wanting revenge on the Leaf? So like, it's not out of the realm of possibility that if he were here, that Naruto had been captured, then he might start second guessing himself, like, oh, like maybe I need to go save him. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
It's not totally within the realm of possibility.
Especially because if Sasuke understands why Naruto was fighting against Pain, not just because he had to save the village and all that, but it was kind of a revenge fight because Pain killed Jiraiya. Naruto's almost dead at this point. And Sasuke had a revenge quest his entire life. He would understand Naruto's motives.
Yeah.
And Sasuke wanted to be the one to, if somebody was going to kill Naruto, it would be Sasuke. And if somebody took that away from him, it's something he wouldn't want because they were rivals and Sasuke wanted to prove he was better than Naruto. So saving him would kind of be almost like a superiority thing as well. Like, I'm better than you, Naruto. I'm the one saving you.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to beat me, you're going to have to do better than that.
Yeah.
So there's a big chance that if Sasuke finds out Naruto's been captured by Obito, it's not going to be good for Obito. Sasuke's going to rebel.
You know what?
Because he eventually even rebels in the war arc anyways.
Yeah.
And the war arc is not so far away chronologically from the 5 Kage Summit. So it's that was already brewing.
Yeah. Well, not as like a little side note, not even like that. Like if we even take it a step further and say that if the Sasuke was conflicted about how he was feeling, and if he also found out that Pain like killed Kakashi, then that might be an extra trigger for him. I mean, like it's still his old team and it's still his old sensei, so it's like one of those things. Like I know he's hell bent on destroying the Leaf, but I feel like he was more concerned about killing Danzo than he was at this point killing anybody else from the Leaf, even though he did say that prior. But it's like one of those things you say
and
one
the
thing,
elders as well.
Yeah, it's like one of those things you say one thing but you kind of mean another. So I think he was just more concerned about Danzo and the elders more so than anybody else in the village. So like maybe hearing that both Naruto had been captured and Kakashi had been killed by the Akatsuki would probably like trigger something in Sasuke to be like, okay, like maybe I'm like, you know, at least at this point it probably prompt Sasuke at the very least to try to save Naruto.
Yeah, and there's the thing too, because Sasuke is not completely insane in the beginning of the 5 Kage Summit arc. He's pretty much the same Sasuke that captured B, maybe a little darker, because he had to do those things. He had to kill a couple of clown ninjas in the middle of the way, but he wasn't the crazy Sasuke that was consumed by the power of the Mangekyo Sharingan by the end of the 5 Kage Summit arc, because yeah, Sasuke was laughing maniacally, telling Kakashi and Naruto that they're crazy, that yeah, if you want me to go back, just revive my family or whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, that Sasuke was pretty far gone, but in the beginning of the arc, Sasuke was much more normal, let's say, put it that way.
Karin wasn't even like making any like claims about his chakra being cold in the beginning of the arc. Like she wasn't like saying anything about his chakra being colder or darker or whatever at the beginning. It was only until he started actually going to town on the samurai and all that she started like, saying like, oh, his chakra's even colder now. Like, so
the moment Sasuke snaps in the 5 Kage Summit is when they realized that to betray them. That's when Sasuke got pissed off, and then there was just a downward spiral. He fought the right Kage. He fought every Kage actually.
Personally, I feel like
Danzo.
I'll say personally, I feel like the second he set his eyes on Danzo, it was like all downhill from there. So
yeah,
but yeah, so like at this point, I think it's totally in the realm of possibility that if he finds out somehow, like that's the question is like how would he find out that Obito captured?
I mean, yeah, to be honest, it's very likely that Sasuke would just find out by hearsay because the Nine Tails getting captured after the Leaf Village is completely blown up. It would be a big piece of news.
Yeah, that's a big
in
deal.
The verse, like, whoa, like what happened there? The Leaf Village got destroyed and the Nine Tails is captured. And now the only one left is the Eight Tails, because actually at that point in everybody's mind except for like Obito's and the Akatsukis, every single tail beast had been captured because B was in hiding. So this was like a massive deal. The 5 Kage Summit was supposed to protect only Naruto because he was the only one that hadn't been captured in their minds at the time because B was in hiding. So Naruto being captured, it would definitely stir a lot of trouble. It would definitely make people talk, so Sasuke would find out. And who knows, maybe if Sasuke even questions White Zetsu about it, he can be a little cheeky and say, oh yes, Naruto is inside the Kamui dimension and Obito is keeping him there with a lot of rods sticking in his body.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised at the fact that Obito hid this from Sasuke would prompt Sasuke even more so to be like, okay, no, like crap is on now. Like you just hid this from me. Like who do you think you are? So yeah, I could totally see like Sasuke putting the, like I said, I brought this to Daigo, like he and I kind of like were going, I was a coin flip. Like I could see Sasuke like still choosing to go after Danzo, but in terms of this, in this scenario, we're gonna pitch the idea that, because I do think it's likely that Sasuke would still choose to save Naruto in this scenario.
Yeah, like if for nothing else, just out of spite.
Yeah.
I would say. And if that happens, he'll just tell Karin, Jugo, and Sugetsu to pull back from the summit and try to find somebody from the Leaf Village, because obviously they wouldn't contact Danzo, the only representative of the Leaf Village in that situation. And if we're being honest, it's very likely that the Leaf itself would send, not Danzo, but the other ninjas that are not aligned with him, would send a team close to the 5 Kage Summits, including his most powerful ninjas, Guy, Yamato, Inoichi, Shikaku, and essentially the entire Konoha 12. I mean, Naruto not included, obviously, and Sasuke would probably track them down with Team Taka and talk about what's happening, and then they can fill Sasuke in and say, yeah, that orange mask guy sucked Naruto in, and he's been captured, and we're trying to find him, and there'll probably be a truce. Sakura will probably cry over Sasuke arriving there. There'll be a lot of emotions going on.
At this point, like, this is where, like, Daigo and I were hit a wall, essentially, of, like, how stuff would go down. Because at this point, it would just be, like, Team Leaf versus the Akatsuki. Assuming, like, I guess, like, we have to, like, go on the next thing is how would they find wherever they were at?
Yeah, I think, to be fair, finding Obito, because they would know Obito/Tobi is the guy they have to find to get Naruto back in the situation, wouldn't be the most difficult thing, because if Obito finds out Sasuke betrayed him, it's very likely that he's just gonna pay him a visit.
True.
He kind of likes to do those types of things, like he literally paid Naruto a visit in the originals to tell him about Itachi's backstory and the backstory of Hagoromo and his children. So
he even like stopped Sasuke in his tracks. It's like he just kind of popped out of nowhere, like, "Oh, hey, what's going on?"
Yeah.
This is like
so it's likely that upon their reunification, let's put it that way, Sasuke and the Leaf Village, even though it may be temporary, Obito just kind of pays him a visit.
Yeah.
And that would probably be the best situation for them, because now they can try to fight the guy. They would have some intel on Obito. They would know he can phase through things, and he can do that for 5 minutes, so they would have to press him a lot, and it would be a very difficult fight. The problem is how to get Naruto out of the Kamui dimension.
And we're just assuming that this is just Obito, right? Like this is just Obito fighting. Okay.
Because if Nagato is with Obito in this, even if they bring Guy, the Konoha 12, Yamato, Inoichi, and Shikaku, the most powerful people we know of in the Leaf Village, they're alive at this point and not in coma like Tsunade, Obito and Nagato would destroy them completely. So if we assume it's just Obito, it's probably a fairer fight, even though probably very difficult anyways.
Like maybe we could just say like Nagato was kind of trying to find new corpses or whatever to.
Yeah, that's a very fair assumption because he lost 5 of them in the Pain arc.
Yeah. So yeah, it'd just be Obito then. Yeah, that's fair. Even still though, it's still gonna be like a hectic fight. But the fact that they have 2 like serious geniuses on their team, being Shikaku and Shikamaru, and like let's be honest, like there are a couple of the other ninjas that they have that are pretty smart in their own right.
Shino's pretty smart.
Yeah, Neji, it's also the same thing, and
even Sakura, like she's gonna be pretty intelligent from time to time.
Yeah, I mean she makes questionable decisions, but I mean as far as ninja intelligence, yeah, like she's nothing to scoff at for sure.
And Sasuke himself is a damn good strategist.
Yeah, I keep forgetting Sasuke.
Fight against Deidara is a very good example. Even the fight against Itachi and Dan, those are pretty strategic fights.
Yeah, and like the fact that like every single person aside from Guy, I guess at Team Guy, has seen Obito's phasing like out front, like maybe they'd be able to like start picking up on the fact that he can, especially if we assume that it's not just these people. Like maybe we assume that there's some jobber characters, like some like nameless Anbu come up too, and they get like sacrificed and like as like people
to find out more about the jutsu.
Yeah, exactly. Like I hate saying that. Don't get me wrong, but I could totally see a couple of Anbu just kind of tagging along to be that kind of jobber character.
It is what it is.
Yeah. So I say between all the geniuses they have on their field, like I definitely see Shikaku or Shikamaru in particular figuring out like, oh, like maybe this is how this jutsu works. Because like even Obito complimented Shikamaru's intelligence in the war arc. Like he's like, oh, I really.
And that's the thing.
Yeah.
The encounter with Shikamaru in the war arc is very overlooked, but it's important because it kind of confirms Obito is vulnerable to the shadow possession jutsu. He cannot Kamui away from the shadow possession because the shadow possession attacks Obito's shadow. So what can he do? He gets paralyzed, and the way he counters that in the war is to make the Geromazu just step on everything so that Shikamaru has to retreat.
Yeah. Yeah.
And with two powerful Shadow Possession guys in the squad and the two geniuses as well, there's a good chance they can do something here.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Like I said, I mean, in case there's anybody that's like sleeping on that idea, like Obito literally looked at Shikamaru and was like, I really hate that you're my enemy. So
yeah,
I could totally see like that, them figuring out a way to figure out how Kamu works. Now the question there is now, how would they get Naruto out? And Daigo was like, someone's gonna have to play the sacrifice game, unfortunately. Especially if we kind of do this kind of like with the Anbu, like a couple of Anbu, like maybe they see like they get sucked in. Someone's gonna have to be like, okay. Well, actually, I mean, how would they even know that Naruto's in that dimension? Like,
well, they saw Obito absorbing him, so they could probably assume that. And Sasuke could kinda give him some intel on Obito. Obito didn't take him to the Kami Dimension in this scenario because he takes Sasuke in the Kami Dimension after he fights against every Kage. But
True.
he probably knows some stuff. And even still, like, Shikamaru and Shikaku have very powerful, deducting skills.
Yeah.
They could probably come up with something, which the best alternative I can see here is for one of the characters to get himself sucked into the Kami Dimension on purpose and search for Naruto there. Kind of like how Kakashi was sucked into the Kami Dimension in the War Arc. And once that character finds Naruto, the other characters that remained outside force Obito to use Kamui, and then the character inside can attack Obito just like Kakashi did in the war, and Obito is forced to regurgitate both of them, Naruto and the character who goes.
I can totally see that happening. Like the second that, or like it may take a couple of hits or whatever from the inside, and Shikamaru like picks up on like, you know what, like why is he suffering damage all of a sudden right after this person got sucked in? It's like, you know what, it's probably because like wherever like this person leads to, yada yada yada, it just like kind of deduces how Kamui works like that. So
yeah. And then if Obito ejects that person, then Shikamaru, okay, that's why. So he can't have somebody inside. So he could come up with a strategy. Now, if Obito chooses not to fight using Kamui, then he's actually pretty screwed because he's gonna have to rely on it for the fight. That's his go-to.
I was that's kind of his whole thing. And, I don't think I could see him doing besides that is using his wood style. Like, I mean,
yeah,
like
true. But even if he does, like Yamato has a pretty decent wood style, and he could try to counter.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
Obito, here.
Yamato plus everybody else like around. Like without Kamui, I don't know if the combination of Yamato, Guy, Neji, Lee, I don't know if Obito would do so hot. I don't want to sleep on Obito, but like I said, Kamui is kind of it's like one of those things like, you have to make up a whole new game plan because you're so used to this game plan always working. So that's kind of what would be the same thing here.
The only way I can see them doing that, taking Naruto out, was by forcing Obito to regurgitate Naruto and whoever entered the Kami Dimension to find Naruto, which I honestly think would be Guy here because Guy's the fastest they would have. He could search the Kami Dimension much quicker than other characters. Maybe they would send Guy with Neji, who has the Byakugan and could see further like where Naruto is, but then Obito would have to absorb two people, which is not unlike, like, he always absorbs people when he gets the chance, so maybe it just happens. But after that, they would have to punch Obito from within, wait for him to eject them, and then hopefully Naruto comes out with. And that's the thing, even if Naruto comes out, what's stopping Obito from trying to capture him again? They'll have to keep on fighting, keep on pressing Obito. Can they beat Obito in the long game? I think with that many ninjas, they have a chance, especially because Sasuke is also there and he has a Mangekyo Sharingan that can be very useful. His Amaterasu and Inferno style can force Obito to keep on using Kamui constantly, even though it's going to tire Sasuke out first, but it's going to help.
I wonder if Obito would even like opt to try to recapture Naruto. Like, I know Obito would probably, I know it's like a huge priority to him, but Obito's still pretty like meticulous, so I don't know.
Yeah, he's pretty confident.
Like, I don't know with all that, because like if the plan didn't work originally at capturing Naruto, and if they know how Kamui works at this point, like I wonder if Obito would be like, you know what, they'd probably just do the same thing they just did. Well, maybe if he captured Naruto, if he recaptured Naruto, he might just retreat himself. So yeah, maybe.
The problem is that retreating is not as easy with Kamui because it takes longer to get yourself in the Kami Dimension than otherwise, so they can attack you while you're vulnerable. Teleporting. So that's why we're assuming like he cannot just go and retreat, even though he kind of does that all the time in the series, and people tend not to attack him while he's doing that. Maybe because they're afraid of what could happen. But technically, that's his most vulnerable state.
I say they are assuming this is Madara Uchiha, so the name kind of speaks for itself in this case. So, but I mean, regardless, if they still try to fight him, then do you think they could pull it off?
I think they could at least make him retreat, especially if they like tried to remove the rods from Naruto and wake him up. Sakura could go and heal him, for example. And if Naruto wakes up and sees somebody dying trying to save him, he's definitely gonna go Nine Tails.
Just
like he does against Hinata. Yeah. So it will be a world of trouble for Obito. And honestly, if Yamato doesn't die, this is not that big of a deal because Yamato can take care of it. And even if Yamato's dead, then Minato can save Naruto still because he hasn't saved Naruto yet in this situation.
That is true. Yep. So, I mean, I don't think they'd be able to kill Obito per se.
Yeah, me neither. Even though, like, the shadow possession can be very problematic for him, I still think he has some counters for that. And he has his Izanagi too if push comes to shove.
True. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I could totally. I mean, they had to be like, if they try to do that, that's the thing. Even if they try to refight Obito, they expended all their like resources just to get Naruto out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would imagine if by the time they got him out, the fight would be extremely long. So they probably they'd probably consider it a win that he even retreats in the first place.
True. Yeah, so, for sure.
That's
and at this point, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Like, the Leaf Village would be in shambles. We don't know if Sasuke would decide to stay. He'd probably save Naruto and just leave and then stay. I'm still going to destroy you guys. I just did this because this guy's a loser and I had to save him.
I could totally see like
Danzo would be the Hokage.
I could totally see that being like it's like a movie or it's like one of the Naruto movies where it's like this wasn't even supposed to happen, but like we're gonna call a truce and it's just like go our separate ways.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could totally see that happening. You know, like the events of the story kind of still go as did, just a little bit different this time around.
Yeah, it could be one of those what if fillers.
Well, actually,
story.
Well, kind of worse for the Leaf Village because everyone's still dead. Like Kakashi's still dead.
Yeah, that would be difficult to go around because the Leaf Village would be much weaker. Like Kakashi would be dead. Danzo wouldn't die at first, at least, so it would make things difficult for Tsunade once she wakes up, and it would be much more difficult to fight in the war, I suppose, because a lot of ninjas are dead there, especially Kakashi. Like Kakashi was extremely important for the war.
Well, I guess at this point, like what this fight would serve for the war going forward is that now they know how exactly Obito's jutsu works. So like maybe they could devise a plan, even though like they don't have Kakashi to straight counter it. Like maybe now that they know how the jutsu works, they'd be better prepared for it.
Yeah, for sure. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Did you think anything would have happened differently here? Because it definitely could have. And go subscribe to Lightning Snow. There's a lot of good videos, some videos that I'm featured in as well. Thank you for joining us again.
No problem. Thank you for having me. I love doing these what if videos. I'm gonna start doing some myself.
And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.